Oh, Stolbs is back. Akiva, welcome back. Yeah.
Not back until I see his face.
I'll see you by the next year, Naftali.
Here you go.
Erev Pesach, right?
That's right.
Hopefully I won't be around then. Hopefully I'll be in Chicago.
There you go. No, it's a few days before. It's not Erev, right? It's a few days before, Bezrat Hashem. I don't know. Anyways, okay, we have another interesting daf tonight. Yeah? Okay, so we got to almost halfway down Samach Ches Amud Aleph yesterday. Umichui Krovov. Yeah? That's what we're up to? Shut that off, please. Right,
yeah, the two dots, yep.
Yeah. Right, so Michi Krovov, so we said that taking out the junk from the stomach of the animal, so there shouldn't be a bizayin, right? You want to take it out before you roast it. So my Michi Krovov, what exactly is Michi Krovov? So you have two pshatim. Rav Huna Amar Shemanakvin Besakin. What you do is you make a hole in them with a knife, and then you make a hole in the intestines with a knife, and then everything goes running out. And then it gets cleaned out. Rav Amar Shirka Demaya Denafka Agav Ducha de Sakina. It's taking out the junk, right? Rashi says it's the moisture that sticks to the inside of the intestines, right? And the way to get it out.
Rashi brings a molek, which is in this week's parsha also.
Rashi brings a molek.
Yeah, look at the Rashi, two lines from the bottom, the second line from the bottom. Timcha Zecher Molek.
What are you reading now?
That's it.
Oh, you mean
Rashi.
on the last shot.
When you're cutting it out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, to poke a hole. Yeah, very good. Right, very good. Is this week's parsha? Yeah. Even I know that, even though I'm only holding by Ravi. Right. I made a comeback today. I went from Rishon to Ravi at least. Yeah. Anyway, so this is, so the first shot is you poke a hole in it and you're basically letting it, how do you call it? Leak out. This shot is that Rashi says it's the liquid that gets attached to the intestine, so you have to sort of scrape it off. So shirka the maya the nafka agav ducha the sakina comes off by pushing by the pressure of the knife. That'll clear out the junk. So yeah, my timer. Techiyas Barav. Why does Techiyas Barav say that it's talking about scraping? What's he basing the word michayan? Dechsiv b'charbos meichim garim yachelu. And the churba, like the destroyed houses, meichem means fat ones. Garim yachelu, the gerim, the people that are wandering, are going to eat it. Yeah, my mashma. So what is it mashma? Right, and the belongings of the Rishayim, right, the Mechim, the Tzadikim are gonna yachsan are gonna yarshin it. Yes, so again, so michu is like a lashon of bad, of disgusting, fats, whatever it is. Fine. Yeah, now the Gemara goes, it says, Varo kvasim kidavram, and you're going to see the sheep going to go like kidavram. They're going to graze like kidavram. Amar Menashe bar Yirmi, Amar Rav, kimedubar bam. What it means is what it says about them. Right? Yeah, so my kimedubar bam, what does that mean, kimedubar bam? Amar Abaya, v'charbas mechem garim yachelu. What it means is that the gerim are going to eat, right? Meaning that eventually they're going to be able to eat. They're going to be successful, right? So Amalei Rava Bishlama Iksiv Charvas. If it would say the word Charvas Kedekamer, that's like what you said. Hashda Dechsiv Vicharvas. It says with a vav Milsa Achriti Kamer. It's not one big sentence. It's two different things. So Rava says different shot. The tzadikim are going to end up causing the mason to have Techiyas Hameisem. What does this mean? How do you know? And you're going to see and the sheep are going to not see it. It means they're going to graze, right? Like was said, Uksiv Hasam Yiru Bashan veGilad Kimei Olam, right? They're gonna graze in Bashan and Gilad, the way it always was. Yeah, Bashan ze Elisha. Bashan is referring to Elisha, right? The Navi Elisha. Shenemar vayani b'shafat b'Bashan, right? It says in Yani and Shafat in Bashan. Uksiv, right? And Elisha was Techiyas Hameisem. Uksiv poi Elisha ben Shafat asher yotzak mayim al yidei Eliyahu. This is Elisha ben Shafat that he poured water on Eliyahu's hands. Right, so Bashan is referring to Elisha because he was from Bashan. Gilad ze Eliyahu, and Gilad is referring to Eliyahu. Shenemar v'yam Eliyahu hatishbi mitoshvi Gilad. Eliyahu hatishbi from the people that lived in Gilad. So you see that's referring to Bashan, and Gilad is referring to Elisha and Eliyahu.
Peretz's song.
What? Eliyahu Tishbi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also got one on the next line.
Right, and then you get a next one. Right, there's a lot of songs tonight. Yes, I don't know a lot, but a couple of songs. Right, so meaning who are the sheep that are going to? The sheep is referring to the tzadikim, which is Elisha and Eliyahu. Right, and they're going to cause people to have Techiyas Hameisem. So that's what we learn now. Okay, so Amar Rav Shulchan Achmeni Amar Rav Yonasan, Hasidim tzadikim sheyichyu mason. The tzadikim are going to make the mason live. Does anybody have pshat exactly what this means? They're going to go around and do the Techiyas Hameisem, or it's going to be in their schus? I'm not sure what this means.
In their schus.
It's going to be in their schus, just
Yeah,
two people's schus?
What's the pasuk that they say by the end of every hesped? There'll be no more tears.
We're getting up to it in a second. We're getting up to the Gemara is going to discuss it in 3 lines. Very good.
Yeah. You got to see the Malbim on that. It's a very scary piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mamish, only the tzadikim will be zeicher to live. Bichlal, everyone else is killed, but everyone that they decide to pull up will be zeicher to Techiyas Hameisem.
Interesting. Okay, so I guess that's what it means.
Don't we have the Tanas where Techiyas Hameisem? A Tana could be right?
Yeah.
This week's Pasha, Oz Yusha Moshe. You have Techiyas Hameisem.
Very good.
Rashi.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good, Packer. Yeah. Okay, good. So Amar Rav Shulchan Achmeni Amar Rav Yonasan, Hasidim tzadikim sheyichyu mason shenemar oid yeshus keinim keinos b'rechavis Yerushalayim. Right? There's going to still be elderly people in the streets of Yerushalayim. V'ish meshante b'yada, and he's going to have the man is going to have his walking stick. Meiroiv yomim, because he's going to be so old, he's going to need a walking stick to walk. Uksiv v'samta meshanti al pnei hanar, and he's going to put his stick on the face of the boy, right? Meaning, how did Elisha do the Techiyas Hameisem? And he put the mishante on the face of him. That's what's referring to. The tzadikim are going to end up causing the Techiyas Hameisem, right? Ula Ramiksiv.
Yaakov.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Can I ask an apikoros?
We love those questions.
Please do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't we have money? We have a lot of friends that have done Techiyas Hameisem. That's all of people. They've done Techiyas Hameisem.
So why is that? Why maybe that's tzadikim?
Okay, maybe.
You're assuming you're saying your friends are not tzadikim. That's your kasha.
I'm not sure what my kasha is, but it's like they've done it. Baruch Hashem, they've done it.
It's true.
Not a kasha. It's proving they're tzadikim. The kasha and the Gemara is both of these two past Gemaras are asidim tzadikim sheyichyu mason. La'asid lavi, they're going to do it. What's
So
the
they're
raya?
doing it.
The
They're
raya
doing
is
it
from the
now.
psukim that they already did it.
They're doing
That's
it now.
You're showing that the Gemaras work both ways. The raya from the Gemara
Does that mean a
something was
person?
already
Any
done.
any of my friends that have done Techiyas Hameisem at Tzadikim? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what he's
asking.
saying. That's
Yeah.
what he's saying.
Okay.
That's what he's saying.
I
Seems
mean,
like you defer.
I would only try to be machalik that if it's written in a the Navi or the Nevi'im or Ksuvim, maybe then in a Konami, but we have no raya that to be Mechayim Mason.
No, but
the Nevi'im write that they were being Mechayim Mason. So in a Konami, we know this because the Torah says they're being Mechayim Mason. If a Navi came along and told us, I understand that, but I can't tell you b'vadai that people who are working in Hatzalah are being Mechayim Mason. I know that
friends
Elio and Anavi.
They've been Mechayim Mason. What are you talking about?
Maybe they just
What
kept
are you
the person
talking
alive.
about?
I'm talking about the Navi. The Navi says they were being Mechayim Mason.
Unbelievable.
I don't know that's true when it comes to nowadays.
I'm telling you, my friend was Mechayim Mason. He came in the next morning. He was crying like a baby. He brought somebody back from the dead. Okay.
It's not true. Can we go on?
Okay, fine. Good.
anyway,
He wasn't dead. I don't know
either
what
way,
that
it's
means.
referring to the future.
Okay.
Either way, this
Good.
is referring to the future, right? That one thing that's clear. The Gemara is referring to that in the schus of the tzadikim, right? That's how there's going to be Techiyas Hameisem. Although Taka with this week's parsha, how do you tie it in that only 1/5 of Klal Yisrael made it out, right? So who's going to be Zaycha to Techiyas Hameisem? I don't know, but it's going to go on the schus of the tzadikim. But I guess the schus of the tzadikim wasn't enough to get Klal Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. Right? Okay, but that's
the Gemara doesn't say that.
The Oz Yosha is after they went out of Mitzrayim. That's when they came into being. That's the right
that's
from
true.
the Torah. Yeah, not before.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. What are you saying?
The Gemara doesn't say the b'schus the tzadikim, the Rishonim are going to be Zeichet Techiyas Hameisem.
No, but the regular people are. The regular people are.
Yeah. The people who died in Mitzrayim were not regular people.
Were they Rishonim?
I think that's what it says, no?
Rishonim. It says they were Rishonim? I don't know.
They had one mitzvah. I mean, that's why the Rosh gave them one mitzvah. Mila, no? They didn't even want to do that.
Yeah. Well, I think one shot is that they were lacking Amuna. That's why Dosan Aviron got up as opposed to those guys that didn't get out.
Right, I hear.
But that would also imply that those who did leave were tzaddikim when they clearly were not. They were on the 49th level of Tumah. There were all these different things. Yeah. How could you venture to call them tzaddikim?
Right.
When they got out, they became tzaddikim. That's the trip.
They were still again just because they got out.
Whatever they.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just asking. Like, just because they're the fifth of the nation that got out, and left Mitzrayim.
When they got out and they saw what they saw, then they became tzaddikim. But then a few minutes later, not a few minutes, but a little while later, you saw what happened. So you saw that trip, that roller coaster ride.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, Pshat. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see weiter. Yeah, so Ula, three wide lines on Ula Ramiksiv, Bila Hamavas Lanetzach, right? This is what we say Hashem is going to swallow death forever. Uksiv Ki Anar Ben Me'ashana Yomus. The Nar, meaning when somebody's young, somebody at 100 years old is going to be considered young, but there is going to be death. So what is the deal? Is there going to be death, lost lava, or not? Meaning in the next world, it's going to be death or not? Like Kasha can't be so, can't be Akum. Okay. So that the stira is one is a Klal Yisrael will not have death, Goyim will have death. What are Goyim doing in the Olam HaEmes, in the next world? So
does that mean that Goyim are also going to have kids? We're going to run out of Goyim. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're going to meet like from this pasuk, because they're going to be there to serve Klal Yisrael.
I thought, are Jewish people going to have kids?
I don't know.
I thought there's like a neshama cutoff.
I'm not sure. I mean, if you don't get clarity out of this Gemara, then I don't know. I mean, these Gemaras here say the most about what's going to be lost in love. So I don't know. I don't know. So let's see. Rav Chisda Rami Ksiv. Rav Chisda had a steer. It says v'chafra halavana upush paisha chama. Right. The moon was embarrassed, and the sun was also embarrassed. Right. Yeah. Uksiv v'haya or halavana ka'or chama. Ka'or chama yeshivasayim ka'or shivasayamim. The or halavana, meaning the moon is going to be so bright. It's going to be bright like the sun now, and the sun is going to be what do you call it? 7 times, literally means 7 times ka'ar shiva sayamim, meaning it's going to be 49 times more than the light of the shiva sayamim. Whatever it is, it's going to be very, very bright. So, but which one is it? So like kasha kan Olam haba kan moshiach moshiach. No, there's 2 different things. There's the Olam haba, and then there's moshiach moshiach. Right? Meaning the one pasuk says that there's going to be no levana and no cham, and the other one is that is saying that it's going to glow very, very bright. Right? So that's what we're saying. One is Olam haba, and one is Yemaisa Mashiach. Right? When Yemaisa Mashiach, it's going to get very, very strong, the light.
Why would it get dark?
I don't think it's going to get dark. It's going to be, you're not going to need it. I think that's what it means. You're just not going to need it. I mean, there's going to be it's going to be nenem from the ziv ashchina, right? You're going to be nenem from the ziv ashchina. You're not going to need any light, right? That's what I think it means. No? Yeah.
Isn't that the other way
So
around?
all of these fellows who like to bring riots from what's happening now, which I have no idea, but they should be very happy now that we use LED lights. We're using less light.
So you mean it's more?
All the guys who get geared up over what's happening, that should be another riot for them, you know.
Yeah, I hear, but right. So Rashi here says it's the ziv zoyar umara shchina. It's the shine of the zoyar umara shchina. So it's going to give such light that you're not going to need an olam haba. You're not going to need any lights because everything's going to be light. But in Yemaisa Mashiach, you're gonna need light, but it's gonna be much brighter. Okay, well Shmuel Damer ain't bein ha'olam hazeh lo Yemaisa Mashiach. Ela shibud malchus bilvad. With Shmuel Shita, where we had a couple of times already, that there's no difference between Olam hazeh and Olam hab and Yemaisa Mashiach, only that we're not gonna be subservient to the governments. What are you gonna say then? Because here clearly we're saying that there is a difference between Olam hazeh and Yemaisa Mashiach. So Gemara says Idi Olam haba. Right. So according to him, both psukim are talking about Olam haba. Like kasha kan b'machan shchina, kan b'machan tzadikim. One is talking about machan shchina. So when you obviously were in the machan of the shchina, then you don't need any light. Kan b'machan tzadikim. But when you were in the machan of tzadikim, you're gonna need light. Okay, whatever that means. Machan shchina, machan tzadikim. I don't know. Rava says a stira. Ani amis ve'echya. Hashem says, I'm gonna make people die and I'm gonna make people live. Uksiv machatzti v'ani erpa. I could damage people. Machatzi means I could cause them damage. V'ani erpa, and I'm gonna heal them. Hashta achuye mechaye merapele kol shekain. If Hashem is saying that He can make somebody become alive, so of course He can heal him. What I'm going to make die, I'm going to make live. The same way, nowadays, I make somebody get hurt, and then they get healed. Right? So that's what the pasuk means. Fine. Tarabah. Ani amis ba'echya. Right? I'm going to make people die, and I'm going to make them live. Yachal misa be'echad. You would think that what he's referring to is one person's death, meaning he kills one person, or one person dies and another person lives. Right? The way the world works. I'm gonna cause damage and then I'm gonna heal them. Just like when somebody gets hurt and then he gets healed. It's talking about one person. Even Misa and Chaya is talking about one person. Mikan, tshuva lo'imrim, ain't Techiyas Hameisem in a Torah. And that's the tshuva to those that say that there's no reference to Techiyas Hameisem in the Torah. This pasuk is a reference, meaning, because what the pasuk is saying is that Hashem is saying that the same way I cause people to get hurt, and then we heal them, and then He heals them, so I'm going to cause that same person to die, and then he's going to become alive. So you see very clearly that there's such a thing as Techiyas Hameisem. Yeah, davar acher, different shot. But tchila mashani memes ani mechaya. V'odem masham mechatzti v'ani eber. In the beginning, what I'm going to die, make die, I'm going to make live. V'odem masham mechatzti, and then it says what I'm going to make. What do you call it? Mechatzti, ruined, broken. V'ani eber, and I'm going to heal it. Meaning, when you have Techiyas Hameisem, let's say somebody was nifter with a broken bone. So does he become alive with a fixed bone, or he's nifter with the broken bone? So this, what we're saying here is that no, he becomes alive with the broken bone. Only afterwards is Hashem going to heal him. Meaning, so the way a person dies is the way he's going to become alive. And then after that, Hashem's going to heal them.
Okay. From this, we say that everybody will be healed in Mashiach.
Eventually, yes. Eventually, yeah. It's going to be a perfect world.
How long is that period where there's zombies walking around with?
I don't know. You're right. It's a question, right? Because most people when they pass away are not in good shape, right? So exactly how they're walking around, right? They were nifter, they couldn't walk. So when they become alive again, they're also not walking. That's what you're saying, Binyam.
It's like the art scroll biography covers where everyone is as old as they can possibly be.
No, I mean, like if a person, Chas Shalom dies in a car crash, their body is like, not.
Right.
I just don't get how that would work.
I don't 100%. I don't get it either. Yeah. Okay. So on Tommy base. So that's the end of the I got it to Gemara. Right. And then we say they're also bringing the chaylev. Right, so that's Doicha Shabbos. So Tanya, Amar Reb Shimon, Bo Rei Kama Chaviv Mitzvah B'Shaita. Come and see how chaviv it is to do a mitzvah at the right time. Sherei Hector Chalavim ve'Evarim u'Pedarim, bringing makter the Chalavim and the Evarim and the Pedarim Ksherim Kol Halayla. It's really kosher the whole night. Meaning the Tamid and the korban Pesach. You have a whole night. They shechted it on Shabbos, right? Erev Pesach Shechal b'Shabbos. They shechted it on Shabbos. Why not? It's kosher the whole night to burn them. Why do you have to be Machal Shabbos? So we're saying, the Gemara is saying that it's so chaviv to do a mitzvah at the proper time that they're going to still burn it even on Shabbos. And we don't wait till it gets dark. Now, obviously, you have to say that there is an inyan that it should be burned right away and not wait till night. Because otherwise, your mama shouldn't be Machal Shabbos.
What does b'shaita mean? Chaviva mitzvah b'shaita. What does that mean?
To do it at the most opportune time. That's what.
So how do you know what the most opportune time is?
No, so that's a Rashi.
If you have 7 hours to do it, who says what the most opportune time?
No, because it is preferable to do it. It is preferable to do it during the day, not at night. It's preferable to burn it immediately.
It says mitzvah
b'shaita.
How do you know what the shaita is?
And it's interesting, Zev. It's interesting thing that you're saying. It doesn't say zrizin makdima.
No, but I'm answering my share. Meaning, the minute the day starts, that's when you have to do it.
Who told you? It says b'shaita.
It says zrizin makdima.
What does shaita mean?
Zrizin makdima. A person has to act that as soon as the day that he's allowed to do it, he has to do it immediately.
No, it says b'shaita in its time.
It says
if you have 6 hours, that's its time.
It's what do you mean?
Rashi brings down a drasha of Oila Shabbos b'Shabbat Lasa Tamid Alma Chaviv L'Mar Mitzvah b'Shabbat b'Shaita. Not just that it's chaviv to do it b'Shaita, it's to hurry up the Mitzvah b'Shaita. Whatever its man it is, you're supposed to hurry it up within that man. Rashi, it's the drasha.
But you're telling me it's
to
not
hurry up
this man is nighttime.
Right, but there's a mitzvah within that time period to do it as fast as possible.
You could
That's what Rashi darshans.
You could daven in the morning from 5 o'clock till 9 o'clock.
Okay, let me just does this make sense to everybody except for me that they were Machal Shabbos because they got excited to burn it?
That bothers me.
Am I the only guy who doesn't understand this?
No, that bothers me.
Machal Shabbos.
Right, it's a good question.
They're Machal Shabbos every Shabbos. What does that mean?
That's right.
But you could. Right, he's talking. Right, every Shabbos they do it with the tummy.
Go smoke.
Shabbos
smoke
every
a cigarette,
Shabbos.
buy a slice, and then burn it. What are you burning it on Shabbos for? L'man Hashem. It's unbelievable. And everybody's happy with this. Everybody's happy.
I got no problem with it, Rabban.
I didn't make a comment.
happy.
I'm just smiling. I'm laughing. This is great.
Yeah.
Oh, it bothers me this morning also.
That's the beauty of Daf Yomi.
What is the reason? What's the answer, Taka?
The answer is that there is more of an inyan to burn it during the day than at night. Otherwise,
Not just more of an inyan.
would be 100% correct. During the day, not the morning. I'm sorry, not the morning. Well, the tummy.
It's more than just an inyan.
What do you
bring a carbon.
No, but you have a whole
bring your carbon.
No, but you have a whole night to burn the korbanos. You have a whole night to burn it. So why
just because it's kosher doesn't mean that's the mitzvah of hakravas karbanos is all by day. The Torah says you're allowed to also burn it at night. Not for you to do it at night. This is kravas karbanos. Haktaras chalavim veivarim is veimurim is part of the kravas karbanos.
Yeah, but why is chavivas hamitzvahs doicha?
No, because
that's what Rashi brings. Shabbat. So you're asking Doicha Shabbos, or why is it B'shait?
That's what's bothering my shver. What do you mean?
No. There's two things.
We went through this already. We went through this already. If Hatzalah members are Doicha Shabbos or they're not Doicha Shabbos, we already. It's as if there is no Shabbos.
Parrots, go back to cooking.
Okay, parrots. So how do you take off Shabbos from something that you could do for 10 minutes later after Shabbos? How do you take off Shabbos? So
Ask Don Sulla guys. How did they drive back?
That's the whole point. You can't wait.
What are you talking about?
Reb Tziyakov, they bring down at the bottom of our school, the Gemara in Menachos, that says this rule only applies when they're already Mechal Shabbos initially, which is true when it comes to korban Pesach because they have to do Shechita already. So that the rule to be Memaher only applies when they're already Mechal Shabbos. They already started the Chilul Shabbos for other reasons.
Well, every Shabbos they bring the Talmud, the Mechal
Shabbos. Right, so the same thing.
Correct. So he's saying since they already had a mitzvah to be Mechal Shabbos, because they have to do the Shlita, it follows that you should be Memayer and Baiter be Mechal Shabbos to go ahead and burn it.
Okay,
right.
Good.
That's when the rule applies.
I don't understand it. I don't even understand the hava meaning to say that, much less that's the halacha. I have no idea to understand that.
Right.
I don't understand it.
Okay, but
what's there not to understand? There is no Shabbos. It doesn't apply.
No, but
the same Rabban Shalom who said you have to keep Shabbos told you can bring
No. It's these Kohanim that got all excited all of a sudden to do something. There's nothing to do with the Rabban Shalom.
Right, because there's other things.
What does that mean? Kohanim is reason. What does it mean? They got all of a sudden excited. They're always excited to do the mitzvah.
No, but there are other aspects to the korban to the Pesach that you're not allowed to do. Right, the Mishnah only allows a few things. Everything else can't be done.
Any other part that the mitzvah can't be done?
Yeah, there are other
parts.
Part
of the mitzvah can't.
That means smearing the blood. We said before smearing the blood makes afterwards.
Everything's to do with bringing the korban that you can do on Shabbos. Everything to do with eating.
Right. The actual avodah was done on Shabbos.
Right, but but the pshat is the etzem that you have to say, like Gershon is saying, that there is more of an inyan to do it on Shabbos day than to wait at night. Even though, yes, it's kosher at night, but the real way to do it is that it should be done during the day. That's all. Otherwise, Rabban is 100% right. You should wait. Mitzvah Chaviv B'Shaita cannot work if you have an alternative to not be Mechal Shabbos. That's why I understand it. It has to be that the ikar time to be Machos, like Gershon is saying, is during the day, not at night. Yes, it is.
The caveat, the Gemara from the Gemara in Menachos, it seems like the caveat has nothing to do with that. The caveat's because you already were Mechal Shabbos for it.
Right. Okay. So that's going to come up later in the Gemara also.
But I'm saying it's about this sugya. It's about the sugya of being makder right now.
Yeah. Enochanami.
I don't think that's not, the Gemara doesn't say the special reason is because the ikar the mitzvahs on Shabbos. It's because you're already Mechal Shabbos. If it weren't for that, you wouldn't be able to do that.
Excuse me. Whenever Pesach Chaliyos b'Shabbos, they don't roast the korban. They have to wait till Havdalah to roast.
Because that's
Why
not
did
the
you say they could roast
avodah.
it? Why did you say they could roast? But it's the only reason you brought it was to eat. So why didn't you say you should be able to
But
roast it
that's
on
not the
Shabbos
avodah of the
afternoon?
korban. Yes, you're supposed to eat it, but that's not the avodah of the korban.
That's the only reason you brought it was to eat. So it's more important than burning the hakrov is the emurin.
Then I guess
Please.
according to you, they'd be able to eat it, roast it up before on Shabbos also. But that's not true. Obviously, it's not part of the avodah.
Okay, so we'll have to see. Okay, so let's see weiter. Right, so you can't carry it, you can't bring it. All those preliminaries are not allowed. Or a mino, leskistira. Right, it also said you're not allowed to cut off a wart. Right, so you're not allowed to cut off the wart off the animal on Shabbos. So remino leskistira chaytchen yabelas b'mikdash havaloi b'medina. In the base of mikdash, you're allowed to cut off a wart with your hand. Right, because there's no shvus in the mikdash. Rashi says. Have a live in Medina, but you can't do it in the Medina because it's iser. Then bekli kan bekan aser, but to do with the kli, right? Then it's aser. Yeah, so you see very, very beferish that in the base of mikdash you are allowed to cut off a wart from the animal. So why is our Mishnah saying you're not allowed to? Right?
Yes, and I'm trying to let this go, but do you know anybody when the Nates is 5:06, they make a bris at 5:07? You know anybody who ever did that? Told all their parents and their friends to stay home. I'm making the bris 5:07. Meet a mile and the baby. 5:07 is the bris. I know you're coming from Lakewood. Stay in Lakewood. I'm making it 5:07. Which is Kaviva Mitzvah Shaita. You know anybody who ever did that?
Yes.
Please.
Who knows? Who did that?
Who?
I have two cousins who did that.
Two people in the world is not a raya.
They got it from somewhere.
They
got it
because they
from
wanted to
somewhere,
save
okay?
money. They wanted to save
They wanted
money
to get
on
to
the
work.
bagel.
It's called a dare.
Does anybody
Oh,
want to
it's
have a little? Does anybody want to have a little side bet if we put Aaron Horowitz and Gershon Russell in a ring, and we can start taking bets? I mean, this is getting good here, but we can really make this better.
I have a feeling we're gonna have to take a side bet to give Ravaron some baby aspirin or something to calm himself down.
We're doing good here. We can take this to the next level.
Forget the stock market. People will be betting this.
I hate to break it to you. Aaron is very, very calm.
Why do you think Gershon moves away?
If you do that, they both have to be wearing the exact clothes they're wearing right now.
All I can say is that if Naftali Weiner said he had a cousin who had that bris, Rabari would have acted a little more slightly, right?
It's like the WWE where they all have their costumes. He's going to come up with his bathrobe.
Yeah.
Gershon's going to come with his cigarettes.
Okay. So anyways, so the Gemara asks the stira, right? So we said in our Mishnah you can't cut off the wart, and this price says you are allowed to in the base of Mikdash. Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Chanina. So Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Chanina have tirutz. Chad Amar Idi biyad. One says they're both with the yad. Haba leicha, haba yavesha. One is talking about where the wart is wet, which then you can't take it off. If it's dry, so it's already halfway home, right? Once it dries up, it comes off easy, so then it's not a problem. That's one teretz. And the other one said, they're both talking about wet. But like kasha haba yad haba kli. One is talking about removing with the yad, which would be okay, right? Because that's not the derech, and haba kli, right? And one is talking about a kli, right? That's why on Shabbos, if somebody has a hangnail, so if you have a hangnail that's really bothering you, you're allowed to take it off on Shabbos, but only with your hand, not with a kli, right? Because with a kli, that's the regular derech. With the hand, it's considered like a sheet.
Is that for sure mutter or like
yes?
chachila?
No. We try and say things that are for sure mutter, not the.
No, I mean the chachila, but the evid like you.
If it's causing you pain, a nail, yes, not skin. Skin, no.
A nail,
yes.
hangnail.
Nail, yes. Skin, no. Somebody texted me a shiloh today, and I answered back that it's okay. You know, a kasher shiloh said it's okay, and they texted me back, "Are you sure?" Because I could really be machmer. I said, just let me give you a little hint. Don't ask somebody shilas if you think that they're not sure of the answer and they're giving you an answer anyways. Right? So stay away from those guys. But anyway, okay. So so then the Gemara says, so now we have so we have two tirutzim again. One is that it's talking about they're both moist, and I'm sorry, they're both talking about we're removing the wart with the hand. One is moist, one is dry. And the other one, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Chanina, or Rabbi Elazar, we don't know who said which teretz, says they're both talking about where they're moist, and the difference is one was talking about taking it off with the hand, which is mutter, and one's talking about with a kli. Fine. My time how come? Meaning, basically, it's why doesn't he say the teretz like the other one? The dried one is crumbled already. It's crumbled up, right? So then it'd be mutter even with a kli because it's almost like it's already off. Fine. Then what about the other way around? That they're both talking about with the hand, and one is moist and one is dry. My time. Why didn't he just say like the other teretz that they're both talking about where they're wet or moist? So we already said that. We already said the din that if it's with a kli, they're both awesome, right? So then that's not it. That's why you don't want to say that teretz. Hadek kli. Hacha, this that it says kli hacha is plucked to the Rebbe Elazar Rabbi Shua asalash minon. No, because it wants to tell us that there's a machlokes Rebbe Elazar Rabbi Shua, which we are going to see now. Yeah. So or that went through the entire Mishnah. Fine. Okay. So Amar Rebbe Elazar. Now we have famous Gemaras over here, that are very interesting. Yeah.
Is the Gemara before saying that there's a machlokes? There would be machlokes when it comes to lacha would be yad, whether it's mutter or not.
Lacha biyad. I think everybody would hold that that's a problem. No.
So what does it mean? According to the person who says haba lacha, adi balacha haba yad haba kli. Which one would be us or them?
No, what do you mean? With the kli, it's aser biyad, it's mutter.
Right. So, and according to the other sheet, he's saying that adi biyad and lacha would be aser.
Yes. Yeah.
So that comes out as a huge machlokes between them.
Yeah. So what's wrong with that?
I'm saying, why don't the Gemara just say they're being chaylik on whether balacha works or not when it comes to biyad?
I think ultimately they're doing. Oh, isn't that ultimately what they're
right?
saying?
So then, why doesn't one have to dance around? Why didn't he hold it to this? Why don't they say that the reason why he didn't hold like that is because he held that that's usher and that's mutter.
I mean, why did he say that way and not?
Saying, the yad is mutter.
No, they don't.
They do. He only didn't. The other one didn't want to say that because it's already in the Mishnah.
But the Gemara before says habalacha, adi biyad, habalacha haba biyavesha, lacha would mean usher. What's the chilek? He's saying one of them is usher. That's lacha would be the one that's usher. Yavesha is obviously mutter biyad.
Well, yavesha is going to be more mutter, definitely.
Right. So when he says habalacha haba yavesha, he's being mechalik and saying one is usher and one is mutter. Right, that he's being mechalik between the two, the brisa. You right?
Right. Okay, I hear you are. Okay, that's very good. I hear. I mean, it's very good as long because I don't know the teretz, but it doesn't mean it's very good. It could be it's a portion of the teretz. It's just going over my head. But I hear the horror. Okay, very good. So Amar Rabbi Elazar Mayim Shchita, right? So we had the back and forth with Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Shua, right? So which the Gemara is going to continue on Talmud Aleph. But first, Rabbi Shua l'tamei Amar Simchas Yom Tov Nami Mitzvah. It's Rabbi Yeshua going according to his regular shita, which is that Simchas Yom Tov is a chiyuv, right? So Mamela. So what? So therefore, what does this have to do with this? Yeah. So Mamela, it's for a mitzvah that we're gonna be doicha daraisas, right? The Tanya. Rabbi Elazar Omer, Ein Lo La'adam B'Yom Tov Ela Oy Oichel B'Shoisa Oy Yoshe B'Shoina. Rabbi Elazar holds that on Yom Tov it's either or. It's either you eat and you drink or you sit and learn. You don't do both. Now, does that mean that it's optional which way you go, or he has one specific way? Right? I don't know. I think you have the option. You could either sit and learn, or you can sit, you can eat and drink, but you can't do both, right? Rabbi Shua, right? You split it up. Half of it is for eating and drinking, and half is to sitting and learning, right? Chatzi l'Shem, chatzi l'Chem, right? That's the famous, right? That's Chasam Sofer. It's a Geshmak and Chasam Sofer. So what is it? Chatzi l'Shem is the learning, and chatzi l'Chem is the eating.
Right.
Chasam Sofer says fakert.
Right.
The eating, you have to eat to stay alive. That's chatzi l'Chem. Right? Chatzi l'Shem. The learning is for you because it's geshmak. That's chatzi l'Chem, right? He turns it, whatever it is. But that's
Mishnah Berurah definitely holds the other way. By Rosh Hashanah, the Mishnah Berurah says that the chazanim and shuls that take a long time over davening, you goyer in boy because it's chatzi l'Chem.
Right. I hear. Very good. That's what it said. Rabbi Yochanan Shnei Mikra Echad Darshu Kosev Echad Oimer Atzeres Lashem Aleikecha. Right, it says it should be an Atzeres for Hashem. Because Echad Oimer Atzeres Tiyeh Lachem. Rabbi Lezer Savar Oikuli Lashem, Oikuli Lachem. It's either all or nothing. It's either everything to Hashem or everything for you. Rabbi Shua Savar Chalkei Chetzi Lashem Chetzi Lachem. Fine. So Amar Rabbi Lazar Hakol Moedim Ba'Atzeres. Everybody's moeded up by Shavuos. That you have to have lachem. My time of Yom Shadid Nevai Torah. That's the day that the Torah was given. So therefore, it needs to be lachem. Which does that make any sense? The one when the Torah is given, that's when you have to have a good time. I would say the other way.
The Makar for some cipher, no?
What?
This is the Makar for some cipher.
Yeah. Right. But Lamaisa, when you see one thing with Torah, Torah has to come along with Geshmak. That's the bottom line. If you don't have Geshmak with Torah, then it's not. Then that's not the way it should be.
The Shiloh is what's called Geshmak.
That's the Shleimus. That's the Shleimus bringing it together.
The Shiloh is what's called Geshmak.
That I leave to the Mechanchim. To try and make it Geshmak. Right?
That's why it's chasana.
What?
That's why Shavuos is a chasana.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Shavuos, Purim, and Yom Kippur. Those are the 3 days we got the Torah.
Right, those are three. Right, that's what the Gemara is going to say. So Amar Rabbah, call by the Shabbos to be in an Lechem. Shabbos, you also.
Who said a chasana is geshmak?
Officially, it's supposed to be Geshmak. Yeah. Right, okay. So Amar Rabbah, call by the Shabbos to be in an Lechem. Shabbos, everybody's moide needs Lechem. Right, some people go overboard on that. My time, no, the karasa the Shabbos einig, because you're supposed to call the Shabbos einig. You're supposed to have a high touch einig, gishmak, whatever, right? Amar Rabbi Yosef, Akamei the bepurim to be in an lechem. Oh, mamish shloishim yom kadam echad, right? Everybody's mind that a purim you need lechem. My time, you may mish to
the word nami seems to be a very important word there.
The what?
The word nami by purim. The ba'ina nami lachem.
Meaning
you also need lachem. That means the main day is not lachem. The main purim is lachem.
Oh, I see. I don't know. I was learning the nami is going on, adding on to Shabbos and to. But if you're learning okay, I hear you. My time. Okay, so you may mishta v'simcha. Fine. Marbrei the Ravina kula shata have a yosef b'tanisa. The whole year he sat in a tinus. Levar me'atzarta upurio umali yom kippur. Except for Shavuos, Purim, and Erev Yom Kippur. Atzeres, Yom Shenidu Torah, because Shavuos was the day there's Torah, so therefore you had to eat. Purim, you may mish to simcha.
So he fasted on Shabbos?
It seems like it. Yeah, I don't know, it's a good point. Purim, you may mish to simcha ksiv, and Ma'ili Yom Kippur, Erev Yom Kippur, the Tani Chiyah Barami Difti, B'nisam is Nafshe Seichem, B'tisha L'chaydish. And you're gonna cause yourself inui, right, pain on the 9th day. You're not causing pain on the 9th. You're fasting on the 10th. If you eat on the 9th on Erev Yom Kippur, so then it's as if we look at it as if you fasted on the 9th and the 10th. That's interesting, right? So the Gemara doesn't say that these are referring to Torah, but like Rebbeinu said, all these 3 days have to do with Kabbalah Torah, right? They will makabel the Torah again on Purim, and the Luchas Shniyas was Yom Kippur, right? So all of them do have to do with Kabbalah Torah, even though the Gemara doesn't say that. Fine. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yosef on Shavuos would say, Amar, Avdili Egla Tilsa, make me, right, the third born calf, right? There's two pshatim in that, right? Meaning like we said, this is for parrots, right? He's the third born. The third born is always the best, right? That's one pshat. Or the other pshat was a third of its life. But either way, he says, make me, it's considered chashuv. Egla Tilsa, Amar, Eloi Hayayma the Kogarim, if it wouldn't be for this day, that's meaning the day of Shavuos, Kama Yosef, Yikah B'Shukah, how many Yosefs would be in the Shuk? Meaning, if I didn't, I'm so happy with Shavuos because that gave me the Torah that differentiated me between every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the street. So that's why he's so happy about it. Rav Sheshes, Kol Tlas and Yamin Mahadalei Talmudei, Rav Sheshes learned everything every 30 days, but Talui, B'Kai Be'ivah the Dasha, and he would stand and lean in the doorway. V'amar, and say, Chadoi nafshoi, may be happy. My soul should be happy. My soul should be happy. Right? Loch cry. I'm reading for you. I'm reading for lach tonight. I'm sorry. I'm reading for you and I'm learning for you. Meaning, he was learning Torah l'shma, not for his own sake. Aini, it's not true. If not for the Torah, then the whole world will get destroyed. If you won't keep my bris during the day and at night, then I'm not going to keep nature. So you see that the Torah, to learn the Torah, is for our sake. Because if we don't learn Torah, the world's going to get destroyed, not for Hashem's sake. So the Gemara answers, "May kara ki avid inish." When a person first starts learning Adaita the Nafshai, he does it for himself, and then eventually he ends up doing it lishma.
So Rav Sheshes was doing it. He was still doing it for himself.
No, fakir. He's saying no. He did it for Hashem. He must have started off that he did it. He did it for himself, and then he did it for Hashem. Right. So now we go back into the Machlokes from the Mishnah, Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Kiva. Yeah, Shvera Gemara coming up. Amar Rav Ashi. So Rav Ashi, Lamai Tekomer Rabbi Elazar Nami Yom Tov Rishos. Right. So this that we said that Rabbi Elazar says that Yom Tov is a Rishos. Islay. So he holds Islay Pircha. But he still had a kasha on Rabbi Shua. My Yom Tov. She hit her by Malacha Shov Rishos. On Yom Tov, we allow Malacha to be done Shov Rishos. Right. You don't have to. According to Rabbi Elazar, right, you don't have to have food and all that, right? But we allow malacha shevus loy hit the shvus sheima, but we don't allow isurei d'Rabbanan that could be done before Yom Tov. Shabbos shaloy hit ba ela malacha shel mitzvah. On Shabbos, when we only allow malachas for mitzvahs, not voluntary, ain't din shaloy tata shvus sheima. Isn't it a kavachaymer that we should not allow the shvus, right? Which is what he was tining. Yeah, that's what Rabbi Shua was saying. So for Rabbi Elazar, shvus the mitzvah adiflei. No, Rabbi Elazar is going to say no. Shvus the mitzvah is much more important than a shvus than stama shvus the rabbanon of a voluntary thing. Fine. So Tanya Amar Rabbi Eliezer Mali im dachu machshirei mitzvah shel achar shchita Shabbos. Right. What is it to me? Right. That we have to, if we daiche the machshirei mitzvah shalach hashita as a Shabbos, that the machshirei mitzvah that come after the shchita Shabbos, right? This avid le mitzvah, right? That we already did the mitzvah. Lo yitchu machshirei mitzvah shalifnei shchita as a Shabbos. Then meaning he's saying this Akiva. This is what you were referring to. He says Rabbi Elazar is saying, if you're daiche the machshirei mitzvah that come after shchita, they're daiche Shabbos. Because you already did the mitzvah. So once you started the mitzvah, you can continue. So shouldn't you allow the machshirei mitzvah from before the shechita should also be allowed? Right? That's his kind. Again, he's saying the machshirim, you could shecht, right? So that you have to do on Erev Pesach. Right? And then we're saying that the things that come afterwards that are necessary, you're also allowed to do. Right? The michi kravav, like we said. Right? Even though it's even though you already did the mitzvah. But it piggybacks on it, right? So why not let the hechsher mitzvah piggyback on it? Yeah. So Amalei Rabbi Kiva, what are you saying that you should be daicha the machshira mitzvah that after shchita Shabbos already dochs the shchita as a Shabbos? Shchita is daicha Shabbos. Timer yitchu machshira mitzvah shnei shchita as a Shabbos. Are you going to say that you should be daicha the machshira mitzvah should be daicha that if the fnei shchita as a Shabbos shaloi dochs the shchita as a Shabbos, right? When you the shchita is not daicha Shabbos. Davar acher shem yimtzu zevach tzotzak. So he's saying, right? Meaning this is what his answer is, that you can't compare the two. The ones that come before the shechita, that was before the shechita, so take care of it before Shabbos. The ones that come after the shechita, that's because you're already mechal Shabbos. So once you mechal Shabbos, just continue being mechal Shabbos. I don't
understand this whole shock of attire, the bringing the murim and all that, after that it's Deicha Shabbos. That's because you couldn't do it the day before. Rabbi Elazar was talking about doing things that you could have done the day before.
Well, that's part of
that's
what he's
part of
saying.
what he's saying. No, he's saying that like Mashiach, he's talking about before and after. But why don't he just stay back to him? You couldn't have you could have done what you did the day before. The whole
right. So that's
a murim are something you couldn't have done the day before. It only happens after you shot the animal.
Right. So you're being mechavan to Tchiyas. Tchiyas disagrees with Rashi on this, but that's the way Rashi is saying it. That it's talking about michui krovav and all that. And Tchiyas is saying, right, there it's different because you couldn't clear out the intestines from before, right? So then Tchiyas says it's talking about hektar chalavim. You could wait till the night. You see, look at the top.
You're saying that it's actually the burning, not just the micha.
Yeah. Very good. You mechamed to the Machlokes Rashi Tchiyas. That's one shot. Davar acher shema yimtza zevach pastel v'nimtza mechal Shabbos l'mafreya. A very interesting thing. He's saying we can't allow you to do the malachas before the being makra, before shechting the korban, because maybe the korban is going to be pastel. Maybe the animal is going to be a treifa. Right, and then everything you did before, leading up to it, ended up being a chil Shabbos. Meaning, you could be michal Shabbos for a kosher korban. You can't be michal Shabbos for a not kosher korban. So the things that came before, you might end up being michal Shabbos. So he says back to him, ihachi mishchat nami loy nishchat. Maybe you shouldn't shecht it either. Maybe the korban is going to be puzzle. Right? Let's say you shecht the korban pesach or the tamid on Shabbos. How do you know it's kosher? Maybe it's treif, and then you ended up being mechal Shabbos. So obviously we don't care about that. So then that's his kasha. No, that's what he said to him in the beginning, and then he asked him, and then he answered him back a different time that why do I care if it's daicha? Meaning, why should I? If I could be daicha one, I could be daicha both. The meaning the stuff that comes before and after. Okay, now this next Gemara is very shver. So, Heisha Rabbi Kiva v'Amar Hazah Techiyas. Right, so Rabbi Kiva said, well, Hazah is going to prove it. And then they had the back and forth. Tanya, Amar Lei Rabbi Eliezer, Akiva, B'shchita Heshavtani. You answered me about shchita, meaning that we should, Rabbi Eliezer said to Rabbi Kiva, you answered me back that we shouldn't even allow shchita. B'shchita Tehei Misasai, his shchita should, meaning he should die with shchita. Rabbi Eliezer basically gave a klala to Rabbi Kiva that he should die with a shchita, which is pretty much exactly what happened, right? Rabbi Kiva was when Asar Ruge Malchus, he did not have a very pleasant petira. Now that's Rabbi Eliezer telling him. I mean, Rabbi Eliezer was very upset at his taina, so he told him that, right? So I can't. How you understand this? I don't know. That's A. B. Especially what we learned 2 days ago when the Chachamim, even when the Chachamim rightfully gave Musar, right? If they gave it too stark, right, too strong a Musar. So I don't know. Whatever it is, but Rabbi Eliezer was very unhappy with Rabbi Kiva. So Amar Lai. So Rabbi Kiva answered back, Rabbi, Al tachbireni b'shas hadin. Don't deny b'shas din while we're having a shaki v'tara. Kach mechkuvlani mimcha. I was makabel this from you. Rabbi Kiva saying to Rabbi Eliezer, I was makabel this halacha from you that hazah, that sprinkling the blood, now the mechatos, I said blood, right? That was a mistake I made. Sprinkling the mechatos on somebody who's tamei and erev Pesach shechal b'Shabbos, it's a shvus ve'ena doiches a Shabbos. You yourself say that you can't be doiches Shabbos, even if that's going to allow somebody to be able to bring the korban Pesach. My time at Kohaderbe. Okay, so now then the Gemara is asking. So if Rabbi Eliezer Taka said this, then why did he change his mind? So Amar Ula, Rabbi Eliezer ki agmare hazah the truma agmare, the truma gufa loydach Shabbos. He was, when he said hazah, he was Taka referring to truma, that if a guy needs to, because of somebody's tummy mace, he wants to eat truma, a kohen's tummy mace, he has to have the efer chatos sprinkled on him. So that Rabbi Eliezer said you're not allowed to do on Shabbos, but for korban Pesach he held that you would. Rabbi Kiva Nami, so the Gemara says Rabbi Kiva Nami ki oisvei, when he was asking Hazad the Truma oisvei, he was asking about the Hazad of Truma, she mitzvah, be mishum shvus, it's a mitzvah and a shvus. Bu savar Hazad the Pesach kam oisvei, but he thought, Rabbi Eliezer thought that he was asking on the Hazad of Pesach, right? So that was the difference in the miscommunication, right? One thought they were referring to sprinkling the blood on somebody that wants to become tar to being the korban Pesach. And Rabbi Eliezer thought he was talking about for truma, right? So Masav Rabbah, Heisher Rabbi Kiva Amar Hazah Tames Meis Techiyas. So Rabbah asked the kasha that Rabbi Kiva answered and said, Hazah Tames Meis Techiyas, the sprinkle of a tummy mace will prove it. Shechal Shvi Shalei Elias B'Shabbos U'Erev Pesach, that if the seventh day of his tumah fell out on Shabbos and on Erev Pesach, shehi mitzvah, it's a mitzvah. And it's only a derabanan, ve'ena doiches the Shabbos, and it's not doiches Shabbos. Right? So what do you mean? So he clearly was talking to him, not truma. He was talking to him about Pesach. Elavada hazod the Pesach agmei. No, he was asking him about hazod the Pesach. Okay, my time of kaparach le Rabbi Eliezer. So why did Rabbi Eliezer? Why did he say not like that? It's pashut that Rabbi Eliezer would say that he can. Rabbi Eliezer gamrei. So now the Gemara says Rabbi Eliezer learned it, it's akrele, and then he forgot it. He forgot his psak. He forgot some of his learning. So Rabbi Kiva lat kuri gamrei, and Rabbi Kiva was trying to remind him, like, by the way, you yourself said that you're not allowed to sprinkle the mei chatos on somebody who's tamei on Erev Pesach. So okay, so the name of bahadei, right? I mean, I think that's a mistake. What do you have in your Gemara? Hey or Aleph?
Behedja.
But it should be with an Aleph, right?
Mine is with an Aleph.
Yours with an Aleph, mine's with a Hey.
Return it.
It should be Behedja means openly. Bahadeh means with it.
I have with a Hey.
He touches it openly, yeah.
The new one.
One second. But how does the Gemara? Yeah, okay. So he says with an Aleph.
He says open. He says tell him of his error openly.
Yeah, so that's what it makes sense. But name it but with a Hey is not. It should be with an Aleph, not with a Hey. Okay. But name it. So why did Rabbi Kiva just tell Rabbi Eliezer? By the way, Rabbi Eliezer, you yourself said that you can't do this drabanan. So he felt that it was not mentionless. Right? It wasn't a nice thing to do to tell him that he forgot, which is a very interesting thing. So what happened is that Rabbi Kiva, instead of just telling Rabbi Eliezer that he forgot something, right? He decided to be nice, and Memela, he ticked off Rabbi Eliezer, and Rabbi Eliezer gave him this klala about that he's going to die a misa of shchita, right? That's essentially what happened. I think that's essentially what happened here.
So he was meiser nefesh for Torah.
Literally, yeah, 100%. He was not so much for Torah, for covet of his Rebbe,
No,
I guess. I don't know. Was this for Rabin? I don't know. Just because he's telling him that it was a different psak. Okay, whatever it is, it's interesting. Vazah my time aloy dachi Shabbos. How come taka sprinkling the mei chatos is not dachi Shabbos? Michti tatul ba'amahu. It's just tiltul muksa, right? I mean, carrying titchi Shabbos v'shem Pesach. So that you should be dachi Shabbos because of Pesach. Meaning, if you're going to sprinkle it, it's going to allow somebody to bring the korban Pesach. So why are we not doichet? So Amar Rabba, Gzeir Hashem Yitlenu v'Yavirenu Abraham is Rishus Harabim. No, we're afraid that you're going to carry in Rishus Harabim. Well, Rabbi Eliezer, Na'avre, but according to Rabbi Eliezer, you should be able to carry Rosh Hashanah to Amar Rabbi Eliezer Machshire Mitzvah Doichenas Shabbos, because Rabbi Eliezer right. We know from Eliezer the Mila that Machshire Mitzvah are Doichenas Shabbos. So why wouldn't you be able to carry the Mechatas and Rosh Hashanah in order to get this guy Tar? Amri Hani Mili Heichet Gavra Gufei Chazi. That's only where the person himself is Chazi for Rami Chayuv Alei, and he has a Chiyuv. Right? Then he would have to Aval Hacha Gavra the Gufei Loi Chazi. Here the person is Tamei. Right? Loi Rami Chayuv Alei. So there's no Chiyuv on it. Yeah? Which is okay. This is a big zach, and I think what we're going to see in tomorrow's daf as Hashem. What he's saying is that this person right now is Tamei. Since he's Tamei, he is not right to bring the korban. So you're not Mechal Shabbos in order to get him to. It's only time you're Mechal Shabbos if like a baby is ready for the bris and you forgot the knife, so you could carry the knife from Rosh Hashanah. But here, this person right in his matziv is not roy. What I mean, you could ask very simply, what do you mean? So make him roy. That's the whole point. You could just sprinkle on him, make him roy. So Rebbe Eliezer is saying, no, right now he's not roy. So therefore he's not roy. You're not mechuyev. You can't make a head to make him roy.
And the person that does the mila, if it's not the father, is able to do this. He's not. The chiyuv is not rami on him. He's standing in place of the father.
Right. What do you mean? But he's roy. Right. Bris.
He becomes roy even though it's not rami chiyuv aleh?
Yes. Yeah. That's what yeah.
But
why not?
You're saying because it's chazi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it so pasha to the Gemara that on an Erev Pesach, Shecholius for Shabbos, there would definitely be people who would be Yom Zayim L'Tumas Meis?
Why can't that be? What's such a chiddush?
I don't know. Every day of the year, there's a Yom Zayim L'Tumas Meis. It comes in the base of Mikdash. Why? Maybe not.
I don't know. It just came out.
It would be a suffix. Why isn't it a suffix here? The kohen, whoever's bringing the May Hazoyah, is carrying al suffix. Maybe there'll be someone to spritz it on. Is that mutter? Even for a mitzvah?
No, but why are you saying maybe? Well, we know that there's a guy. We're talking about a situation where we know that the guy is tummy.
Oh, there's a registration thing here?
I guess. He checked it.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, that's what I think. Okay, I was going to go a few more lines by. Okay, we'll leave it for tomorrow. It's already a shtickle late. Oh, it's 10:07. Wow, it's really late. Okay, fine. Okay, good enough, everybody.
What time tomorrow?
I don't know. What time is the 4:52 is lift pension? 4:51?
Yeah.
So four what does it work for Naftali? 4:51, and even for 4. Okay, a quarter after 4. But quarter after 4, yeah, that makes sense.
Shkayach. Gonna try to daven mincha early.
Shkayach.
Okay. Do that, Naftali.
Yeah, good enough. Yeah, Yossi Katz. So what's the story with you you want to get the vaccine?
You're missing out. The Ilam's jumping lines left, right, and center. Left, right, and center.
Where are they doing this? Where are they